Every disease has a cause. If we have malaria, we'll give you anti-malarials to help you in the recovery process. How then is it that when you have diabetes, when you have arthritis, when you have heart disease, stroke, and all this, we tell you we are going to give you drugs, but we are not even sure if these drugs are going to save your life? Imagine that. Imagine if somebody who is a stroke patient trying to recover from the stroke, and then you tell them, you know what? Don't worry, these drugs, you will take them, but I'm not sure if these drugs are going to change your life for the better. Imagine that statement. So you could just keep taking the drugs, they will keep masking your symptoms, but we don't know. We are not sure if these drugs will help you. Because this disease, you know it is irreversible, right? You know you did not get it from here, from what you're eating. You got it from the genes. So the problem is actually your father or your grandfather. Because you see, for me as a doctor, my grandfather was a doctor. So I got it from the genes. That's why I cannot get to suffer from a stroke. But your grandfather was not a doctor. That's why we have to have this conversation. Your grandfather was not a doctor, so therefore, how do you expect to understand these things? You will not. So my role is to actually step in between you, the general public, and the health institutions. And if you realized, I do it in a very interesting way. So I step in, I make you understand your disease. Once I've made you understand, once I've made you to understand the disease, I make you understand the causes of that disease. When you understand the causes of that disease, thank you, Mari. When you understand the causes of that disease, oh goodness, it becomes so easy for you to treat it because you don't need me. And I am actually helping most doctors, but some of them are so emotional because they have the nature of evil in them. They just want to exploit people. Okay, so I'm trying to help us, or even our country, or even the continent at large, to actually ease the healthcare burden. You see in hospital beds, people are sharing beds in the wards. Imagine somebody who is diabetic is sharing a bed with another person who has a diabetic wound, and this one has the sores. So they are sharing a bed, and I'm trying to make sure that these people change their lives for the better, so that we don't have all this burden in the hospitals, and then the hospitals can actually remain there for emergency purposes, the accidents, because we cannot even prevent all these things from happening. But right now, if you go into hospitals, you are admitting your patient there, but there's no bed. You're actually told, hey, if you want a bed, you have to pay more. There are only beds that are reserved for people who have money. So now health has become just a business all over. And that's what we're trying to undo. We are trying to tell you, we empower you so that you can actually change your kitchen. And through changing the kitchen and your lifestyle, you will never need to run to the hospitals for these conditions, the slightest conditions. If you have a headache, you don't have to go and take paracetamol. You can simply take water that has salt. You can simply take a sleep, just a nap, and see how you get better. Do you really have to pop a pill for every ill? And the answer is no. So my duty is to remind you that drugs are poisons in low doses. That's why they are regulated by a pharmacy and poisons board. They are poisons. And if you go into the constitution, you will read, they are classified as part 1 and part 2 poisons. So drugs are poisons in low doses. But the more you take them, so imagine if you're taking drugs for a lifetime, the more you take those low doses of poisons, the more you kill your system slowly. But ask yourselves, where were these drugs back then? Where were they? Like, we've done so much research on diabetes and chronic conditions, and we've come out with new drugs. But where were these medications back then when these conditions were very rare? Ask yourself that. At least tell me about the herbs. I'll tell you, yeah, okay, these herbs were taken for this reason and for this reason. But if you're taking drugs and hoping that these drugs are coming to change your lifestyle, drugs cannot change what you're doing in the kitchen constantly. And you're doing these things consistently. I really pity people who have diabetes and these chronic conditions. Imagine you take drugs over and over again, and you expect different results, even though you've taken drugs for 15 years. There is no difference, but you're still hoping that these results might end up changing someday. How? How? You can't do the same things and expect different results. It's not possible. So you keep on taking metformin. Now the next thing they'll do, they'll add the dose of metformin. Now they'll add the frequency from once to twice. Now they'll add on a new drug. They add on the glibenclamide, the sulfonylurea. Now your blood sugars you are unable to control them, and these drugs are causing you mineral deficiencies. They are causing you organ damage. And guess what? They add you another drug. After they realize now this is not working, now they tell you now, oh, of course, they gave you a drug that actually killed the pancreas and destroyed the liver. And now it's time for us to give you now external insulin because your system cannot function. Your pancreas cannot produce enough insulin. So now let's give him external insulin. Now you've actually graduated from a human insulin to a cow's insulin or a pig's insulin. And then guess what? At the end of it all, you will die from complications of diabetes. So then what were we doing? What were we doing? Giving you drugs to help you treat diabetes, but you still end up getting the complications of diabetes. That is something that doctors cannot explain. Why? Because they are evil. Most of the doctors are evil. A few number of doctors, most of them are evil, not all, but a few can actually tell you the truth about the system. But those who are sunk into the greediness, those who work on ego, are always trying to exploit you. And I told you this for free. Imagine one day you have had a kidney transplant, you did dialysis and then went to a transplant, and then some of you have their legs chopped off because of amputation and complication of diabetes. Some have suffered a stroke, and you spend a lot of money trying to fix these conditions. You spend a lot of money and a lot of effort, emotional distress and all that, trying to fix a diabetic foot, and then it ended up being chopped off. And now you go back to your doctor's consultation room, and your doctor tells you, hey bro, I am really sorry, Bana. I didn't know that diet can actually fix your problem. Imagine these drugs that I've been giving you for the last 20 years, they cannot work. Imagine you did not deserve to go for that amputation. And then you ask this doctor, okay, what are you saying? Then doctor says, I had all this information from back then. But my practice could not allow me to tell you this information. I am really sorry that I made you go through this. I made you go through an amputation. I made you spend a lot of money getting new kidneys that I knew will not work and your body might resist it. So I am really sorry. Please, it's time for us to now change your kitchen. The fats, the seed oils that I've been telling you are good. Please, now it's time for me to say, no, please don't use them again. Okay? I am sorry that I told you to use canola. But now I have realized my mistake. Please drop the seed oils. I have realized that sugar is sugar regardless of the source. So please, if you want you to get better, please drop the fruits. I know I've been telling you to eat fruits for the last 10 years, but now please understand that things have to change. How will you look at that doctor? How will you look at that doctor? You'll be so shocked about this guy. What is this guy doing? I mean, you've told me all these things. I've practiced these things faithfully, following you, hoping that you are my life savior. And now I'm here, 20 years down the line. I am still diabetic. It's getting even worse. I started with one drug. Now I'm on 7 drugs for diabetes and hypertension. Now I have a failing kidney. Now I'm scheduled for an amputation that is going to happen in the next 1 week. And I have to give out this 500,000 shillings for that surgery. Now insulin has messed me totally. My pancreas has totally failed because when you start supplementing something from outside, the body shuts down. So imagine now my organs are actually failing and I'm about to die. But I'm still holding on to your advice that drugs are healthy, fruits are very good for you, sugar is natural sugar is different from the synthetic sugar. So please, at least let's change things here. How will you feel about that? That he had the information that would have changed your life from the word go. But he kept it from you till the day that he realized, this one I might get in trouble. So I told you for free that you are not the problem. You don't have any health information, so you have a right. That's why I don't blame somebody who bashes what I say. I actually understand where you are. I understand your position because you don't have the information. And if you have it, you have the wrong information. And you stick to it like a tick on a cow. Because you are very hopeful that this will change your life for the better. But you cannot do the same things and expect different results. So therefore, whatever is coming between your health and the health system is actually that doctor who is full of his ego. It is them, because it is that nutritionist who is full of ego. It is that lab technician who is always there for the money. It is that nurse who will slap you for asking questions in the maternity wards. It is that person who is actually standing between you and your truth and your healing. And that's why it's only fair that you get the information and ask Now, any information that is coming to you, the health information that is coming to you that you don't understand, it is always good to ask. Seek clarification. The only problem is, anytime you're going to seek clarification, your doctor becomes angry. Ask yourself why. So anytime you're going to get information, your doctor becomes angry. Why is he angry? Why is you deserve the information? So why is he getting angry at you? Why? You've paid for consultation, you're going to pay for medication, you're going to pay for lab results, you're going to pay for the ultrasounds and the x-rays, and all these things are going to cost you financially. So it's only fair that I give you time and I answer your questions, and I should never be emotional, because all of us go through a medical school that trains us to handle somebody who is emotional, to handle a temperamental patient, to handle somebody who is out of their minds, and to make sure that we give them information that is right and that is just.